culture here in the US has always been one of the individual. And it's funny how that's kind of biting us at the end of the day. It's getting back at us and biting us. Not any specific person's fault. It's just the circumstance that we're fighting this thing, but we're still fighting it very much on an individual basis.
It is a weird time to be alive. Welcome back from isolation. In only a few couple of months, the COVID-19 virus managed to shut down the whole world. Borders were closed, stores were shut down, and we had to stay indoors. During this weird period of time, even though I am a filmmaker and this is what I do on a daily basis, when I'm not allowed to go out and meet other people and stuff, it made me think, how do I manage to get through this in the best way possible, and how do the people around the globe manage to get through this pandemic that we're seeing right now? When you lock down the whole planet and there's something going on that you can't see, but it can affect you and eventually it can cause death. This is where it gets really, really terrifying for a lot of people. And especially one video from Luca Francesa, who's an Italian actor, made me realize how serious this situation is.
Ieri è deceduta mia sorella, probabilmente per il virus del Covid-19. Sto aspettando risposte dalle istituzioni da ieri sera. Io sono costretto con tutto il dolore a combattere questa situazione. Io ho mia sorella nel letto, morta. Non so cosa devo fare. Non posso darle l'onoranza che merita. Diamoci forza l'uno con l'altro. Vi prego di diffondere questo video dappertutto. Rendiamolo virale.
As productions were shut down in China, you were starting to see the pollution rate going down and also wildlife starting to appear all over the world as we were going into our houses. So whenever something bad is happening, there's always something good coming out of it. You're seeing people helping each other buying groceries, the elderly that can't go outside are staying inside, they're getting help from their family and their communities. And of course, this is not the optimal way to do it, but it still shows that we actually care about each other. And I think that's one of the most important lessons that we can take from this, as we can't do anything else but just to wait for a certain vaccine to get all of us back on track eventually. And for me, this also meant a couple of different things. Of course, I haven't been getting that many jobs because people have to stay inside, but there are 3 other things that has been pretty major in my lockdown period. One is that I finally managed to make a new show reel. 2, I managed to sit down in this isolation period and create a whole new website as well.
That's right.
And finally, I moved into a new office. This is not due to any coronavirus or to any lockdown, but it's a fact, and we still had to do it even though we couldn't get that many hands to help us. And this is that office. Through social media and through these platforms, I've been able to travel. I've been able to travel to many different countries, and in there I've created friendships and I get to know people that I actually care about. So what I was curious about is that how are they handling this situation, both the positive side but also the negative side of the COVID-19 virus. So as you can see, I've managed to work my way through this lockdown, and as I mainly sit here and do editing and stuff, this certain situation have not been that weird for me. Of course, it's a weird way that you can't just go outside and hug your family and your friends. But as Denmark, as we speak now, is starting to slowly open up again, I need to know what's going on in other places, not only because of my interest for the whole world, but also for the friends and relatives that I've been getting to know through my previous travels. And that is what we're gonna do now.
How are you?
I'm good.
Hi, long time no see.
You got us on video? Yes.
Hey, there we go. Oh, gosh, that was the beer, huh?
The old man.
It's been crazy. It's been a really intense time. How are you?
Kind of worried about you guys, but I see things are getting better right now in Europe.
But in Australia, probably about a month ago now, Anybody who came into the country was immediately quarantined for 14 days.
Everything was totally fine, and it went from totally normal to completely stay at home within about 2 days from that March 12th date.
We didn't know what we were facing, so I think we were all a little bit scared. I remember like going out to get food and all that. That's all I did, like once a week or even less than that.
You just get your temperature checked everywhere you go, public places, mall, gym, restaurants. And if you're over 37, 38 degrees, it's like body temperature, they don't let you in, and then you go home.
We are being left to sort of use our own judgment and to decide personally, am I going to go outside or not?
We have 440 cases as in yesterday, I looked it up, and 6 deaths. And every death is registered, like you know where they come from.
There are 20 million people, and there's only been 6 deaths due to COVID.
Really? 6?
Yeah.
The whole of Australia, maybe about 90 deaths.
People have been sacrificing their work and seeing beyond money. And I'm not talking about like huge companies. I'm talking about normal people who have like independent jobs, and they have been asked to stay at home. I've seen that as a really huge sacrifice.
Of course, you had like the big fires, right? Like earlier this year. Do you think that you actually learned something from that with the fires going on also?
I would say it's always at the back of your mind that something might come along that's going to cause life to change that you can't do anything about. I think it's just at the back of your mind. I don't think it changes what you do.
We live in a country where we have to be prepared.
Yes, I agree
for the worst.
They managed it very well for the size, and then on the other hand, I think they already had a lot of experience from previous like outbreaks, like the swine flu. Once it goes down here, you never know.
It's always like a period where there are different communities, feeling like they have to take the brunt of a certain situation. And then there was a direct link to a particular type of person. There were some reported incidents, and I've actually personally witnessed someone being attacked, an Asian man being attacked and punched in the face.
No.
So
I wanted to ask you here if you could see, any positive things of when you have to stay inside or you have to stay with the same certain group, that people might started to do more things together, or new businesses have been coming up.
I think it's been a simpler lifestyle where, we cook dinner together, we sit around the table and we eat dinner together, we go for walks with the dogs, simple stuff, bake cakes, stuff like that. We didn't do as often before COVID.
You gotta look out for yourself, and then secondly look out for people and things that actually matter to you, and cut out the things that they don't bring any value into your life.
The president was really clear about that, saying that money can go or you can lose money, but if someone dies, like that, there's no turning back from there.
Culture here in the US has always been one of the individual, and it's funny how that's kind of biting us at the end of the day. It's getting back at us and biting us. Not any specific person's fault, it's just the circumstance that we're fighting this thing, but we're still fighting it very much on an individual basis.
So many things fall into the want category. Like, you want to succeed, like I want to do well, but I have to realize that the most important things are the people who are with me, that I'm still alive, that it's not going to be the end if I don't do my best, don't get the best result, but I'm going to aim to do my best.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that was from my side, from the other end of the world,
I'm really glad you did this whole thing, because it's really nice to connect to people, and it's cool to share, I don't know, solutions to the same problem maybe.
Be happy with what you've got.
See ya, man. Bye.
Send kisses to everyone over there.
I will.
Bye.
It's good to share stories, and it's good so that people can, hear what's going on in different parts of the world. So thanks for doing it.
See ya,
Talk
man.
to you soon.
Yeah, bye.
Take care.
So by showing you these personal stories from people that I know, I hope that you are thinking more about how we can look at certain situations. The COVID-19 virus is no joke, and the way that the world was shutting down and we had to do that in this certain way is something that I've never experienced before. So of course we have to take our precautions, but you always have to look at both sides of the story, right? I think the hardest thing for me is when it gets personal, and a relative of mine actually lost one of her family members to this virus. And you're not allowed to be there. You can't go in the hospitals, you can't say goodbye, you can't do anything. And that's what's so horrible about this virus. Once again, personal stories work for me, and that's why I called all of my friends all over the world, because I want to hear their side of the story, because I tend to believe that that is the truth, not what the media tells me. I can always use the media for a certain thing, but I will never only use media as a final answer. Promise me that. If you're watching this from any part of the world, please let me know if you have a personal story that you want to share, and then write it down in the comments. I would love to hear how you have been handling this situation, what the current state is, and when you guys are actually expecting it to go away and you can go out and live a more normal life. Ask people that you know in person how they have been feeling, because that's what matters the most. If you ask me, remember, it's always my opinion. Get you guys back in the safe, and then when the isolation is over, we're gonna have a lot of fun. That's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It means so much to me. Thank you. See you guys. Jonas out.